I just gotta start. I can't stop laughing. So we'll break straight into it. Welcome to episode 13 of the GameBeast Podcast. Unlucky for some, but not today. Oh God, I'm choking on coke. This is the worst intro ever. It really is unlucky. Let's try again. Welcome to the GameBeast Podcast, where three, sometimes more, but still not yet, friends get together every week to talk about the latest in gaming news. And this week, with a slight twist, because there's not really that much news, we're going to be having a very special topic that we'll get to in a moment. But first, what have we all been doing over the last week? Kyle, we'll start with you.
What have I been doing? I don't know. I sort of just slept and then woke up and we seem to be on Wednesday again. I went away went away for the weekend, bank holiday.
Very nice.
I'm with the partners and her parents, just to Wales. Stayed in a caravan, took the dog, you know.
Oh, perfect.
That was it.
Couldn't ask for any more. You parking?
Now back to work.
I actually bought my ticket to Singapore. Going to see my girlfriend.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're gonna go
and
and
fun.
a romantic trip away.
Well, going September, so getting away from the cold, like you know.
Fair enough. I have no recollection of the past week. I don't know what I was doing. I got food poisoning on Saturday. That was horrendous.
Nice.
Actually, no. It was. See, this is why I'm all over the place. I got food poisoning on Friday, so I was completely wrong with that statement. I was off work Friday, food poisoning. It was horrendous, awful, nasty time. So
that's the last time I
felt
cooked
for you. Yes. I felt alright Sunday though, so I'm good. Bank holiday, I did absolutely fuck all. It's been we finished badminton league, well, men's badminton league, so I don't have to talk about that anymore, even though you never let
The
me.
under-16s is what you mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not been a very eventful week, other than illness and the plague. So moving swiftly on, what are we playing? Are we playing anything fun? Still Elden Ring or Guile?
Playing a bit of RuneScape.
No.
Ooh.
Got back into,
Classic RuneScape.
Yeah, got back into.
Yeah,
Yep. Just kind of been.
choice.
Wow.
I was just like browsing YouTube, and then you know how you just sort of go down a rabbit hole of things.
You inevitably end up on a RuneScape video.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks fun. I'll get back into it a little bit, and I started playing it, and then I gradually played it a bit more.
Yeah, I got good old RuneScape mobile.
Yeah, exactly. I remembered it was on mobile, so then it's like, oh, hey, I could just kind of do this while watching TV, and so that's kind of what I'm playing.
Is your account crossplay between PC and
Yes.
mobile?
Yes.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, I might just get on.
You got to be very careful because if you step into the wrong place, you're going to get absolutely owned.
Yeah. Them touch controls though.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually surprisingly good on mobile. You can kind of just do some stuff.
Yeah. The map works a bit shoddy, but
yeah, but it works. Functional.
Yeah, I imagine it's not the most graphically intensive game, is it? So.
No, well, both versions of it. You've got the RuneScape that they dubbed RuneScape 3, which is like the current gen one. That's both on PC and mobile.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
I got really annoyed
being on mobile.
I had to start my character again because RuneScape 3 stole my character.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Happened to me as well.
So if you start on the new gen,
126 for level 99s.
Christ.
Well, I was playing.
You played a lot of RuneScape.
Yeah, I was playing.
Oh
when
yes.
The transfer happened, and I was like, it's okay. It won't change that much. I'll keep it on this version of RuneScape rather than transferring over to like the older version. And then it became what it is now. So I remade my from scratch on the old version.
Mistakes were made. I haven't revisited my RuneScape character since probably secondary school. So it's probably on the new version, and it probably sucks. I remember getting distracted by Adventure Quest. Did any of you ever play that?
Yes.
Fucking Adventure Quest was yes.
You had Adventure Quest, and you had Mech Quest, and you had
Mech Quest.
Yeah. Do you remember
the other Adventure Quest that was kind of like
Adventure Quest 3? Was it Adventure Quest Worlds? That was their version of it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It was pretty bad, but Adventure Quest was badass.
Yeah.
It was probably the first game I ever paid for premium version
Oh,
of.
you were a guardian.
I was a guardian and I had all the guardian armor
I
and the blade of ore.
I never was. I just played it as a kid when it was obviously it was like free, and I used to play it like the library, or, wherever. And
Yeah.
through the random events that they did, you end up just getting like loads of overpowered event items.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
That
what?
was it.
For once, you're talking about something I have no idea about.
Really? Oh, Google Adventure Quest real quick. And if you've never seen it, I'll be surprised because it's all I ever did in IT lessons.
The only
Yeah,
downside
I
was
know. I know the new basically the new RuneScape's kind of got like a World of Warcraft look to it, where it's gone very 3D and sort of animated everything.
this
Yeah, but
literally
that wasn't.
at the time it was like a 2D sprite flat, well, 2D flash game basically.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Flash game, and like all of the. It was essentially a collection of JPEG images slapped together and then animated.
Yeah, it was like playing a
Um,
clickable GIF, was what it was like.
yes.
And the
It
the
was.
combat was like so slow. I don't know how I put up with it as a kid. Like back on the really old laggy computers where your adventure used to jump
Like
in the air
6
and it'd
frames a
take
second.
take 20
Yeah.
seconds just to
And that was
land
on
a
a
hit.
good computer.
That was on a good, yeah, and a good internet connection because it was a browser game.
Yeah, can't
Like
say I
like
do.
RuneScape.
I've
Oh, it
never
was so
never
good.
seen anything like it.
It was so good.
Kind of reminds
I
me
can't
of
even.
another old one that you might remember, you might not. Was I
Hmm,
think it was called Made Marian Games, and they made
Made Marion
Sherwood
Game.
Forest. I want to say.
Made.
They also
Sounds about
made,
right.
Wasn't.
I think, Moonbase Alpha. I think on Moonbase. Let me have a quick.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, a game that I want.
Sherwood Dungeon.
Sherwood Dungeon, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I played that. Yeah.
It was one of those
Christ.
free games.
Sounds like one of those old school games that they used to give you.
It really was.
It's
It's
like.
so crap. They used to have
I,
Sherwood, Club Marion, Moonbase, which is where you could run around on the moon.
yeah, yeah. I completely forgot this existed. Wow. I can't even remember. No, I don't think it was particularly good though, was it?
No. Oh my god, they have a mobile. Is that a mobile version? They have a mobile. They have it on Android. It's on
Holy
Android
crap.
and iOS. Oh.
And then of course the kids' favourite Neopets, which if I guarantee if I go on Neopets right now,
Yeah, never played
Neopets.com.
Neopets.
Club Penguin.
Hang
Yes.
on, what? You never played it? Get out. Username. Passive. Can I remember my?
He's trying to sign in.
I'm genuinely trying to sign
I
in.
think we should move on before this.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
let's move on before I just bail and start playing on Neopets. What have we what have you been playing this week, Parky?
I've actually gone back to the good old Rocket League.
Oh God.
I'm currently sat on Elden Ring, so you know.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, just
You got
that
the
really.
platinum yet?
I've got like one more thing to do to get the platinum, and
Fair enough.
that's it. I just haven't been bothered to do the story. I've gone back through Rani's quest and picked up a second Moon Greatsword. Because that's
Dual
always
wielding.
fun.
Get loads of strength,
Yeah.
dual wield it.
Got strength, I just don't have the int.
You done the what?
I ain't got the int.
Oh,
You
the
need
in.
the
Yeah,
36 or something, and I've got 9.
yeah. It's not really worth it for the Dark Moon Blade, to be honest.
Nah.
Been. I don't know what have I been doing? I have no idea. I finished Slay the Spire with all the characters now. Really
Oh,
good
yeah.
game, but
I still haven't played it.
I'm done with it. I'm not gonna go for the platinum because some of the trophies are just fucking nuts. Like finish the game with less than 5 cards in your deck. No. No, no way. There's no way I'm getting that platinum. It's so RNG heavy. Like even though I've become quite proficient at the game, you can easily just die early on in a run because you just don't get the cards you need because it's completely random. Yes, you can affect matters by choosing a different route and making a different decision. Because whenever you beat an enemy, you get a choice of 3 cards to add to your deck. But sometimes those 3 cards that come up are just trash and you don't pick any of them because you don't want to pick cards you don't want. because then that takes up unlimited deck space, but the more cards you've got, the less likely you're going to get the card in the draw that you want. So many a run has died to the fact that I've been like, no, that's crap. No, that's crap. No, that's crap. And relics as well. Relics are completely random, but they can be really powerful. And if you get a load of shit relics, then you ain't getting to the end. So I'm content with the fact I've done it with all characters. And now I'm back on Dragon Quest XI.
I'm downloading that Tribes of Midgard.
I've downloaded it. I haven't played it yet. Oh, I played Blood Hunt, Masquerade.
It looks well. I've downloaded it. Just waiting to play it.
It's all right. You know, it's all right. Definitely a drop in, drop out game. It's not something I could spend hours on. It would definitely be more fun as a team.
Group.
Yeah. It's okay. It didn't immediately repulse me. And the classes are kind of cool. Look, you've got very limited class abilities and stuff, but they're useful. Different types of or different class of vampire got different abilities, and the loot system's a bit basic. So it's just you use like your vampire sense. It pulses out. It's another one of these R3 pulses. Pulses out across the map, and then you just see like these shining things across the map, like little glowing, almost bonfire-like flames that dissipate as soon as your pulse is gone. But that's where all the loot is, and it's just a load of random guns and maybe some armor and maybe some health. But you don't open a chest for it; it's just laying on the floor. So that's a bit naff. And it's set in Prague, and it's a nice city, I guess, to roam around, but you don't really get a chance to take in the scenery because it's for battle royale. It's a battle royale, by the way.
Oh god. Okay, you've lost me.
It is a battle royale with a few niche quirks even. But it's set in Prague. It's a very densely packed city with a very few open areas. So it's not like Warzone where 90% of the map is open air and you got to run for cover. It's like you are running across the rooftop. It's sneaky. You can hide from people quite easily, but there's certain ways that you'll be alerted to the rest of the map. You're generally running across the rooftops because that's where all the loot is, so people will see you either crawling up a wall like some crazy Spider-Man vampire, or leaping from building to building, which is actually quite satisfying, to be fair. It's quite cool to do that. But you can be alerted to the rest of the players because you can feed on civilians, and it gives you like different perks, so like health regeneration or quicker cooldown for your abilities. But if another civilian sees you feeding, and they'll alert the authorities, because there's NPCs on the map as well that can shoot you down. And if you're alerted, or if you alert a civilian, then all of the other players can see where you are for a brief period of time.
No, that does sound good. I can't wait to start playing.
It's all right, to be fair. I am getting into it a bit. There's like a hub area as well that doesn't really serve much purpose.
Yeah, it's no Friday the 13th though, is it?
No, God, no. It is cool though, because you can, if you get downed, then the person that downed you or any other player has to come and finish you off. Otherwise, you just regenerate and get back up. But the way of finishing someone is by running up to them and, obviously draining them of all their blood. Vampires, obviously. It's a little bit samey in the sense that the border is decreased by gas, because of course it is. It gets smaller and smaller, as every battle royale does. It's just they've chosen red gas for this game rather than green gas. No real explanation behind the gas. It's just there.
Blood foam.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's good.
Yeah, it's all right. Some of the weapons are clearly useless. Some of the weapons are vastly superior. LMGs seem to be king in this game because they mow down people in seconds. Dual crossbows, terrible. Dual pistols, terrible. Shotguns at close range, one hit kill. Great. Melee weapons, terrible. Pointless. You either want an LMG shotgun or a legendary crossbow which fires explosive rounds for some reason.
Yeah, bring back
Anyway.
the old Call of Duty style.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. So anyway, anything we're looking forward to?
So you've been playing an actual game then, by the sounds of it.
I've been playing an actual
Yeah.
game, yeah.
I'm looking forward to these two. Even though they both look very similar, there's Tribes of Midgard and Curse of the Dead Gods. They do look very similar to each other.
I would say
I'm looking forward to playing them both. It's my cup of tea.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm also downloading FIFA 22 for the lols.
No.
I am not. I might not even add it to the library.
Oh, that's them fighting words.
That's risky. That's
Fine
risky.
word. What about you, Carl? What are you looking forward to, if anything?
Skate 4.
What?
If it inevitably gets released.
Skate 4.
Yeah, that was quietly announced, wasn't it?
Well, it was. Yeah, they sort of came out.
It was an earnings call, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, they confirmed that. Well, they confirmed it. There's a whole. I think they released a video. The developers said, "Yeah, we're working on it. We know it's coming," and then that was about it.
Oh, I missed that.
And it's been quiet ever since.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I did used to like the ragdoll mechanics in the Skate.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
thing
they were
where it's
cool.
like stack up how much damage you could do to your body.
Yeah, like breaking all your bones and stuff gives you like insane points.
Kind of like what was the driving game?
Burnout? No, not Burnout. The other one.
It might have been Burnout.
Like Burnout 2, where you get more points for like.
There was the specific game mode where you could like crash and cause as much mayhem as possible. Was it
got rid of that in
Burnout?
Burnout
Yeah, it
Paradise.
was one
I
of
didn't
the
like
Burnout
it.
games. Yeah.
That was a fun game mode, to be fair. Arguably more fun than the main game for me, but never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to playing Curse of the Dead Gods. Actually, I'm really looking forward to that.
There's some Skate 4 pre-alpha footage.
Can you duel it, like duo, team up, or whatever?
I have no idea. I will find out. If you can, do it.
Yeah,
If
so
you can,
Skate
let's
4
go.
was confirmed
Skate 4?
26th of August, 2021.
Yes. Oh, really? Oh, I
Feb-
completely missed that.
Feb 4th this year, it was in an earnings call.
Mhm.
And then apparently, April 20th this year, there was some pre-alpha footage that's been leaked.
Oh, okay. Oh, I might take a look at that then.
Looks good.
It's been a while since I've visited a skateboard game. The last one I bought, I think, was probably Tony Hawk's something or other on PS3. Can't remember which one, but it wasn't very good.
So
I bought the 1 and 2 remaster.
Yeah, not the
That was
remaster.
quite fun.
Yeah, I skipped it. I didn't trust it, and then it turned out to be really good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So, anyway, slightly different format this week. We're just gonna fire off 3 quick news points because there wasn't really much this week worth talking about. There is a whole legal dispute going on with Balan Wonderland. Do either of you remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah. The director of that game has filed or has settled in out of court with Square Enix, but I didn't really want to talk about that. It was like bringing work home. So I vetoed that story, and it's not particularly interesting either. If it is not it's not entirely interesting. It's just someone suing someone because they feel as though they were shortchanged or hard done by based on contract law. So, and it's American, and I'm no expert in American law by any chance.
America.
Anyway, so the quick news points we will go over very, very, very quickly, so we can get to the main, spotlight feature of this episode. Will be that Xbox and Bethesda game showcase on the 12th of June. Are we expecting anything other than Starfield? Obviously, I think it's pretty surefire bet that we'll see Starfield. Either of you got any ideas for what else we might see?
Nothing. I mean, is Starfield definitely confirmed to be Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
And PC, not timed, but like indefinitely.
It's It's definitely exclusive as far as Aaron Greenberg says on Twitter. He's the Xbox community marketing manager, I believe.
Yeah.
However, he is also... how do I put this? He's been known to promote the tweets of toxic fanboys. So whether or not his words can be 100% trusted is
So
anyone's guess.
It could be a timed exclusive then.
Mate, I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I think it's just an Xbox exclusive. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, because this could be the console seller.
Yeah.
This could be the reason I go and buy an Xbox. Who knows?
It's a shame, really, but oh well.
It is a shame, but we can't really like blame Microsoft for saying, yeah, we'll keep these exclusive after the amount of money they spent on Bethesda or ZeniMax. What about you, Parky? What do you reckon?
New Fallout game?
Maybe. That'd be interesting.
Would be, maybe like a new Vegas 2.
Do they have the capacity? I mean, well, I suppose when you mention New Vegas, I suppose they've got Obsidian, who obviously made the first New Vegas, which was arguably the best Fallout.
I don't know. Fallout 3 was pretty fun.
Fallout 3 was pretty fun, but I still
the story
remember...
was a bit junky, but
yeah, exactly. It was a bit daft.
The super mutant just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to go in there.
But they patched it, didn't they?
I mean, he told you he still wasn't going to go in there.
Yeah, but you can just continue playing afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah. But...
yeah. Yeah, I still remember enjoying New Vegas far more than 3. I really, really enjoyed Fallout 3 a lot. I spent hundreds of hours on that game. New Vegas was just like really special, and I can't put my finger on why. It just felt more fluid and felt more put together. Probably because Bethesda themselves didn't make it. Don't get me wrong, Bethesda games are excellent, but they aren't exactly reliable. Let's put it that way. In fact, I remember playing New Vegas. It arrived a day early, and it seemed to arrive a day early for a fair few people I knew. So obviously it was pre-day one patch, and the beginning of New Vegas, obviously you get shot in the head. It's not exactly a spoiler if you haven't played it by now. It's literally the first thing you see. And you wake up in the doctor's office, and pre-day one patch, as soon as you walk up to the door to leave the doctor's office, you just fall through the floor. So for the first day I owned the game, which was technically a day before release, I couldn't progress because I couldn't get out the front door because you just fall through the floor. Oh, and the doctor's head spins on his shoulders. It was nuts. It was like some weird Exorcist shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that would be a good way of stopping like people that
piracy and stuff.
Well, yeah, but people that get their orders early.
Yeah. I mean, it did. It stopped me right in my tracks.
Yeah.
If you order a game and it arrives a day early, and the developer's like, "Nope, on day one we're going to do a patch as soon as the game releases to fix the giant hole in the floor."
Fix the floor. Yeah. I do remember there was a way that you could like grab items around the doctor's office and use them as like a bridge, because the items didn't fall through the floor, only your character did, and you could use that to make it to the door and actually get out. But I never did that. I just waited a day. Anyway, next. This is arguably very big news, but there's not a lot to say about it, I don't think. Square Enix sells off Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, and the accompanying IP, including Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Legacy of Kain, among many, many others. They've sold those to the Embracer Group. Any thoughts on this? It was only $300 million, which seems an absolute steal, especially for IPs like Tomb Raider and Deus Ex.
I mean, it does, but what more? Like I was saying to you guys before, like when you posted it, it's like, what more can they do with Tomb Raider? There's been 25 of them.
Maybe they've paid $300 million to just kill it.
Yeah, maybe. Get rid of it. Finally.
Too many.
No more Laura Croft. Deus Ex could be cool. Legacy of Kain, they need to definitely bring out a new one.
Definitely do.
They
Yeah.
could do a lot with Legacy of Kain because that was a fun game.
It's probably
Absolutely.
just a way of Square saying, hey, look, we've got all these, hundreds of IPs. We haven't used these in years. Should we just get rid of them?
Well, they famously
Actually,
cut Deus Ex
Tomb
short,
Raider,
didn't they?
Tomb Raider came out this year, didn't it? A new one.
Apparently, which
Apparently, yeah.
I had no idea about. I've just completely lost interest in Tomb Raider. Completely. The reboot, the first one, was really, really good. But I lost it. In fact, I'll tell you exactly how and when I lost interest. It's when the
Anniversary.
sequel. No. It's when the sequel to the reboot Tomb Raider was timed exclusive on Xbox for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And then by the time it came out on PlayStation, I was already playing other stuff and I'd lost interest. And then I just never got back into it.
Yeah.
So it's just a shame because maybe I would have played it if it wasn't timed exclusive. But there we are. That's just marketing, isn't it? Deus Ex, famously the second Deus Ex, well, technically the third, I think, but you don't really count the old PC Deus Ex game.
No.
Ended with a sequel in mind, and Square Enix just wasn't happy with the sales and canned it. So
Because it wasn't Final Fantasy sales.
Because it wasn't Final Fantasy sales, yeah. Which is a shame because I'd like to see Deus Ex come back because it could be like. I mean, Deus Ex. I don't know if have either of you played Deus Ex?
That was the one where you can get like modifications and you can walk
Yeah,
around
yeah.
as a walking nuke, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it. And then obviously I want Legacy Kain
It was
to come
easy
back.
move once you got all the grenades. Just run straight into the middle of the room, grenade everything, carry on.
And you could invest fully in stealth, but by the time you got to boss fights, that screwed you because
Yeah,
you
I think
couldn't
they
stealth
patched
bosses.
that at one point,
It
didn't
did,
they?
yeah.
So
They did, yeah. So you could enact stealth kills on bosses, I think, which was interesting. But anyway, it is interesting news. I don't think we've got a lot to say about it because it is what it is. They're just being sold to another entity, and this entity, Embracer, will hopefully bring back a lot of these AAA style IPs that we haven't seen for a long, long time. Deus Ex, Legacy of Kain's the example, and hopefully they won't touch Tomb Raider with a barge pole. But that's just my opinion.
Release some merchandise for Tomb Raider and then leave the game.
Next bit, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Remember this? Anyone?
Yeah. There was already a remaster that came out not too long ago, right?
Yeah,
And
this is the
it was all three of
ground up
them.
remake. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
so a
is
remake would be really cool. Hopefully
Yeah.
they'll do something along the lines they did for Final Fantasy VII.
Well, this is exactly that. I think it's a remake from the ground up, but this was announced years ago. It was being handled by Ubisoft Mumbai, but as of I think yesterday, the announcement came out from Ubisoft Mumbai to say that they've had it taken off them. It's going to Ubisoft Montreal now. So I don't know what's happened with this behind the scenes.
Maybe it's just been too long, and they're just like they ain't got the time or the money to spend on it, so they've handed it over to the other side.
It could well be, yeah. But also, and this is purely speculative and very conspiratorial, but maybe whoever might be expressing an interest in Ubisoft, purchase-wise, might have said, well, what the hell's going on with this? Get it in touch, and then maybe we'll make an offer. Who knows? But yeah, in case you completely forgot about Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, it's still being developed. So that is it for the news this week.
Huzzah!
But we've got something special this week, just completely to indulge ourselves, really, because we were getting quite nostalgic the other week about old games that we loved and played, and so we've decided
Nerds on Parade.
Nerds on Parade, and it won't be full of weeb shit, I promise. I don't promise that at all. Of course, it's gonna have some weeb shit in it, but never mind. So we've decided this week, because it is news light, that we're gonna go through our top 5 PS1 games individually. We will reel out from 5 to 1. We will all reel out number 5, go through it, and then we'll all move on to 4 and 3 and 2 and what you know how to
I think you'll
count.
kind of
Hopefully.
notice a theme on mine.
Oh no! Is it all
Not-
the
it's
same
not all the
game
same-
but
it's not all
sequels?
the same. It's all Tomba, guys. It's all Tomba. Nah, you'll notice a theme on mine. But
All right. Okay. Right. Well, we'll get started then. I think we'll just do it in a rotational manner. Kyle, do you want to
Yeah,
kick us off with your number 5 game?
Number 5. Oh, well, my number 5 game for the PlayStation 1 was Medieval.
Yeah.
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 Good
A
old
game I
child
completely
classic,
forgot
that one.
about, but completely endorse that decision.
Did
Yes.
you know that was a Medieval 2?
Yeah, I never bothered to play
I
it.
didn't, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. It was. I
You
think,
didn't know there was Medieval 2?
No. I mean, I wasn't. Obviously, this is like top PS1 games. So when I had a PS1, I was probably around the age of like 8-ish, 8, 9,
Fair.
maybe something like
fair.
that. So I was first introduced to Medieval through, as I've said before, the McDonald's demo disc.
Oh, yeah. That's how I got it too.
Where you used to play the first level, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is pretty cool. I'm playing as, because obviously I was into RuneScape at the same time, so it was literally on the RuneScape loading page. There was like an old school. It was like a picture of a human sitting next to like a skeleton wearing a helmet, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this skeleton.
A
looks like the
skeleton,
RuneScape
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So I
What's
was
his
like,
name?
oh,
Bones
okay.
or Boney or something
Yeah,
like that
that's
one.
the one. So I played the demo and I was like, wow, okay, I'm a skeleton that's walking around killing other things. This looks cool. So I
Yeah.
found the game and went and played it.
Fabulous. What was it you
Wow.
liked about it then? Just that?
Well, it was I'd never really sort of played that type of game before. I think at the time, like my other style of games were never a sort of I guess it wasn't open world because it was level based, but I don't know how to describe games like that. It was
Kind of
just
like an adventure game, I
yeah, it
guess,
was just
isn't
an
it?
action adventure, wasn't it? It's like I used to before I had a PS1, I used to just play on like the PC. On like my dad had a PC and I had a couple of PC games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same format of like I think it's Bugs Life. If anybody ever
Yeah.
played Bugs Life, the original one, for, like PC.
Speaking of which, do you remember the ant level on Medieval?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I have a theory that
Devastated.
every action adventure PS1 game has a level that is just like death to
Yeah.
children.
Completely in the dark,
Yeah.
labyrinthine mess. Have I been here before? Yes, I've been here about 90 times because I can't find the exit.
Unless you're playing Heart of Darkness, then the whole thing is just.
The whole thing is just a fucking mystery to me.
yeah.
I have no
Don't know
idea
what's
what
going
the
on.
hell I'm
Don't know
doing.
how to get past it.
Why am I throwing fucking green balls out my hands and growing plants? Who knows?
yeah.
Okay. Would you like to see? Oh, I
mean,
suppose we
do I want to
have,
see it
but
on modern consoles? No, because it already has been on modern consoles.
yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Parky, what about your number 5? Oh God, he's gone.
Point Blank.
Oh, Point Blank. That's a great shout.
Point Blank.
With the light gun or without?
Oh, with the light gun.
Yeah.
Even though it was terrible at aiming with the light gun because it was never accurate.
But it's still better with the controller.
Yeah. So it was released for arcades in 1994, and came to consoles in 1997. Made by Namco, the good old kings of Namco, back when they were releasing decent games.
Before they joined with Bandai, of course.
Yep. But yeah, man, Point Blank was good old. It was just classic arcadey fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Back before they could
We've lost you a bit. Oh no,
Technical
we're losing Parky.
difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
Hopefully, I'm still here.
Yes.
You are
I'm
kind
back.
of. Say a sentence. Oh no, you're gone.
He's gone again.
Right.
Well, at least we know
Okay.
his 5th game.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you.
Decent.
Excellent.
Arcadey game.
Yeah.
good old fun in the home. You know, get 2 of the light guns.
Yeah, you must have got a rich family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one light gun was enough, but 2.
Fucking hell. Get a peripheral for this very specific game.
Yeah.
Point them at each other, fire both the triggers, and you set off a nuke in your own front. Like, you live in
Oh man. Alright, okay. Do you hope to see a modern version of Point Blank?
I mean, there's already quite a few, but I would like to see like a remake of the original on a modern
Specifically
console. I
Point
think that
Blank.
would be hilarious fun.
I think it'd be a great party game. Like
Yeah.
And you could do it with any PlayStation controller.
Exactly.
Because they've all got the tracking bar on them, even the PS5 controllers. You just need the PlayStation camera, I guess, but I've still got my one for PS4. I think you need an adapter to plug it into the PS5.
Maybe.
But that's not to say they can't just release it on the PS4.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Okay. My number 5 game may surprise everyone because I've previously criticized this franchise. However, I am also a massive hypocrite.
Yes.
So my number 5 game is Tekken 3.
Oh, Tekken 3.
Okay.
What a
Yep,
game.
fine.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
Tekken 3. Yeah, it was made by Namco, of course. Again, before they became Bandai Namco. In 1996. My dad bought me this game because I won a football match. Great.
Oh.
And I spent all summer playing this game.
I'm good at
All
football.
summer.
Start playing Tekken. I'm no longer good at football.
I forgot how to play football. And I would consistently get to Ogre and get slapped. I wasn't very good at fighting games, but I love this game. I was a huge Bruce Lee fan, and I obviously just played as Law all the time.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the one where, was it Gone?
Gon was in it, yeah. Yeah.
And Dr. B.
Dr. B, because I can't pronounce his actual name.
Ozkonovich.
Thank you. Panda, what was the panda called?
Panda. And
Was it
Kuma.
actually? Kuma.
It was called Panda and Kuma.
Yeah, Kuma was the bear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was it,
You had the weird boxing rabbit and dinosaur combo.
Yeah. It was just
Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu was cool as well, and I always liked playing as Yoshimitsu because I was like obsessed with like Japanese style swords when I was a kid for some reason. And because Yoshimitsu had a sword, I was like, all right, he's clearly the best character because he's got a sword.
And he disappeared. And
Yeah.
he committed harakiri to damage the other person.
Yeah.
Which was...
I remember, I never looked at the moves list because I didn't get it because I was a kid. I was what, 1996? I was 6. I just didn't understand the concept of inputting these combos at all.
Yeah,
So I was just
bash.
button bashing like crazy, and this is probably why I kept getting slapped on the last boss. But
yeah, the worst bit when you play as him though is if you button mash too much, you get stuck in like the stance where he's like pogo sticking on his own sword.
Or you just spin for too long and fall down dizzy. In fact, that was one of the few moves that I'd learned for Yoshimitsu, and because it's the one I knew, I just kept using it. Obviously, if you keep using the same move over again,
on the floor, like.
yeah, kept falling on the floor. The attack became less effective, and yeah, it wasn't a great time. It's a good job that it didn't have multiplayer back then. Why? Who didn't like Tekken as a kid? It was just beating the shit out of someone.
People that like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
The only Street Fighter I liked as a kid was Street Fighter 2. And
well, no one likes Street Fighter 1.
Yeah, it was a bit shoddy. And
it's a miracle.
What's the other one? Alpha EX3?
Yes, the ridiculously.
When you had the stupidly large combos and stuff.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's new kid.
Yeah.
Zing. I mean, it already is on modern consoles, so that's a moot question for Tekken 3.
They are bringing out Tekken 8 soon, though, I think.
They are, but do I want to see it on modern consoles? Not really. I had my time with Tekken 3. I really enjoyed it, and I've never really, with the exception of Tekken 5, because there was very few PS3 games at the time. That was I think Tekken 5 was my first platinum.
Ooh. When you had to fight that stupid bot.
That stupid fucking robot that could like just cut the floor away and kill you.
Holes in the floor.
Yeah, pretty sure that was my first ever platinum. So Tekken 5 was good, but I've never had any desire to return to the series since.
I think if they did bring out a new one, they'd have to pick the right direction to go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the story is so circular now. It's insane.
Well, it's like
it's on the Kingdom Hearts level.
Which was the one for the PS2?
Tag team?
No, not that one. There was a
4?
Tekken. It might have been 4.
Yeah, there's a Tekken 4. Yeah,
No,
Tekken 4 was PS2,
Tekken
wasn't it?
4
was PS3, wasn't it?
No, it was PS2.
No, Tekken 5 was PS3. Tekken 4.
Tekken 4, PS2.
Oh, decent.
So yeah, it was like, obviously you've got the main story mode, which is just you go in, you fight everybody in a series, and there's kind of a story that plays out in the background. But there's also like this kind of mini games that are their own thing.
Tekken Force.
You had
Tekken Forces, yeah. Anyway, sorry, Carol.
Yeah, you had like I think there was like a wave-based survival kind of thing where you'd have to progress through levels and fight against like basically grunts to get to a certain boss at the end of the level or whatever that wasn't in the main story.
Yeah.
They were.
They
like,
had that
really
in
good.
Tekken 5 as well,
Yeah,
but it was kind of like Streets of Rage.
Yeah, arguably I enjoyed that more than the main storyline.
Yeah.
But there's so
In
many
fact, it's
mini games that what are you going to do with the actual game? Is it just going to be A to Z story, or are you going to include thousands of these side mini games? In which case you have sort of a half game, I guess, because you haven't focused everything on the one aspect.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, like you say, it depends how they do it. I would probably be interested in a Tekken with lots of mini games like that because I think it's that Streets of Rage style mini game that got me so invested in Tekken 5 and actually probably pushed me to get the platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Game number 4.
Game number 4. Do you want to kick us off with this, Sparky, before your internet cuts out again?
From GT Interactive, 25th of June, 1999. Driver.
Oh. See.
Good choice.
It's funny you
Driver.
say that because for my 4th slot, I have Driver 2.
Ooh. All right, you two can take away. Go.
I mean, Driver 1, clearly a better game.
It's not.
Except for the
ridiculously difficult, because
tutorial.
when you're that old, who the hell knows what a slalom is? I
was going to say, I can't do it because I don't know what it is, and Google didn't exist.
It was literally
what the hell's a salmon?
do a slalom, and there was no like arrows on the floor. It was nothing. There were cones.
Literally nothing.
Like stone pillars. And if you were lucky, you'd go around one of them and it'd say 1. And you were like, what have I just done? Turned in a circle.
Yes. I remember vividly going up to my dad and being like, what's a slalom? And he was like, what? I was like, I can't do a slalom. And he came over to the screen and he's like, oh, it's a slalom, and it's where you do this. And he just kind of like waved his arm a bit, like left to right, in a wiggly wave kind of pattern. And I was like, how do you do that with a car? And he goes, I don't know, I don't drive, and walked off.
Yeah, I think that was the point where most people had just given up because they couldn't get past it. I luckily enough had older brothers who were quite good at games at that time.
Yeah.
And they did that tutorial for me. But then the rest of the game's easy. The rest of the game's nothing like the tutorial.
That is true. And in terms of story, I think the first Driver was probably better. But the reason that Driver 2, in my opinion, was better than Driver 1 is the fact you could get out of your car.
Get out of the car, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, alright.
That's
a good selling point. Well, that was Driver 2, I think, came out after Grand Theft Auto 3, didn't it?
Yeah.
And pretty sure that was just a selling point to try and revive the Driver series, because obviously it had taken a battering from the extremely successful GTA 3, which, interestingly enough, I believe at one point could have been an Xbox exclusive. But Microsoft just weren't sold on the idea of a crime sim, violent type, open world game, so they didn't go for it. So it was released on all. Yeah, it was released on. Oh, was it released on all platforms? Or did it just come out on PS2? Not entirely sure. But anyway, do you know what Driver reminds me of? And I'm pretty sure it was from the same developers. I might be wrong.
Did Driver 1 have secret cars?
I think so. I think if you did certain things on a certain level, you would unlock.
Yeah, I remember
Like
Driver
you
2.
could get like the sweet tooth, I think, at one point.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Driver 2, and I know Driver 3 had secret cars. Incidentally, Driver 3
Yeah, I think you had
also...
to do certain things or smash through certain walls,
Yeah.
and you would unlock them.
Like Driver 3 also had a little nudge towards GTA because it had... Is it Tommy Vasili out of Vice City?
Yeah.
He was actually
Yeah.
in Driver 3, but that's a PS2 game, so we're not going to go too into that. But either
No,
way,
no.
you turn up at the guy's house, like the driver's house, and Tommy Vasili's just chilling there, and you just mow him down with like a whatever gun you want.
Driver, as you just reminded me of another game I completely forgot about. It's slightly irrelevant because it is a PS2 game, but did any of you play Stuntman?
Yeah,
Ooh, yes.
Stuntman.
I
That
did
was
play
a great
Stuntman.
game.
What a great game Stuntman was. It was really cool. It was literally, if people in the audience don't know, it was what it says on the tin. You play as a stuntman for behind the scenes Hollywood action scenes. And it's very particular in it literally sets up this scene, tells you to do it, and then it kind of like plays this fake, very short movie section. But it was really cool, and you could make your own stunt levels and stuff, and I really enjoyed that for absolutely no reason, because it had no business being as good as it was.
No, it was literally you load into a random level, and it's like, okay, now jump onto the back of this trailer, now drive through this sign.
Yeah.
And that was it, just like
Yeah.
10 levels of
And
that.
if you miss it by any chance, it's like, start again.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that a lot.
And the director would get so pissed at you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you kind of both knocked off your number 4 spots, I guess.
Yeah,
Would either of you like to see a return to Driver?
I would.
I would.
But
Yeah.
not in the way that they sort of ended the franchise. I don't want the weird like Watchdog time phasing from one car to another.
Yeah, I want them to go back to their roots, the original.
San Francisco was probably one of the better current gen games, and then they had Parallel Lines, which is where you were driving along and you could like shift into the car in front and suddenly be driving that car.
Oh yeah, which was completely spoiled it.
Yeah,
it was such a stupid game mechanic.
Like, it doesn't have to be GTA, because GTA now has gone sort of more down the Saints Row way. It's gone insane.
Yeah.
Just bring back a game where you are a driver for like a criminal underworld, and just sort of police chases and kill people and stuff. It's quite a simple game, but you could get a storyline out of it for a reboot.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like a 40-hour crime epic. It could be a short, concise, but very well made Grim Sim.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sure you could make some form of multiplayer game out of it. Not that I'd prefer that, but some people might. I mean, we had Heist, didn't we? That was popular. It wasn't never for me, but you can't argue the fact that that game was very successful.
I'd like to see a remake of it.
Fair enough. Okay. My number 4 this was a toss-up between 2 games. I'll say that the game that didn't make the spot and is part of my honourable mention is Resident Evil 2. The game that knocked it off the list was Silent Hill. Konami, obviously, released in 1999. Resident Evil 2 was scary as a kid, but Silent Hill was just a living nightmare as a child. I was 9 years old. I should not have been playing this game, but I had a dodgy disc from one of my dad's mates down the pub.
Oh, you got the spring, did you?
With Silent Hill on it. And just this game was so clever. Obviously, I didn't appreciate a lot of this stuff as a child, but the way that the fog is literally just there to compensate for the limited processing power of the PlayStation. But the fog is a character itself. The fog works against you in every way in this game because it masks the presence of the monsters, and then obviously you've got the radio on you, and as soon as you're coming up against a threat or in the vicinity of a threat, the radio starts crackling, and you don't know where it is, you can't see it. In fact, the first time you see it is usually when you're in imminent danger. So as soon as you hear that radio static going, you're on edge, and you've got limited ability to defend yourself, very limited ammo. The melee controls were crap, but that almost felt as though a deliberate design choice because you were just a dude. You weren't this military jock that was able to take care of himself hand to hand. You were just a dude with a pipe in some unknown place. The story was so gripping, even as a child. I didn't fully understand it, but I was like, this is fucking nuts, man. What is going on? Did either of you play Silent Hill?
I never really I've never completed it, but I did play it.
I completed it with the help of a friend. I would never have figured it out by myself. This friend of mine was the kind of lad that was doing GCSE maths in year 5. So he was a genius when it came to puzzles, and we'd sit there and play it together with all the curtains closed, and it was absolutely terrifying, but it was so good. And as scary as Resident Evil 2 was, it just couldn't come close to the terror of Silent Hill. And this is where I think where my appreciation for horror games came from. Never been a fan of horror movies. Don't know why. I just don't like the passive horror experience. But horror games where you're in it and you need to survive and the tension is literally at your fingertips. That is just everything for me. Like Silent Hill was definitely where my love for the horror game genre came from. Would I like to see a new one? Absolutely fucking yes, because we almost got one. We were so close.
So close.
And then Kojima and Konami had a divorce. Um, if we were to see Silent Hills come back, I would be all over that. That would be an easy day one purchase for me. And if it is somehow put back into Kojima's hands, and Guillermo del Toro is helping with the writing of the story, then I don't know how that could get any better. But we shall see. Watch this space. I'm still holding hope that Konami will just be like, sure, do what you want, because Konami haven't got a fucking clue when it comes to knowing what they have. Because if they knew exactly what they were doing, they wouldn't have released Metal Gear Survive, and they would probably release some more Castlevania games. But anyway, I think that moves us on to spot 3. So, Kyle, do you want to kick us off for your third choice?
Oh, well, this is where my list kind of goes into franchises, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's
For
fair.
this specific one, it is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Now I didn't have. I think there was a Pro Skater 3 for the PS2.
Yes,
I
there was, but I think it was. Oh no, was there? Right, you carry on talking. I'll find out.
Yeah. Yes, I think. Either way, I only had a PS1 still at that point, so I think the PS2 had probably just come out.
Yeah, like a cross-gen game.
Yeah, but as I was, a kid with like maybe like £1 a week pocket money or something like that, and games were a lot more than that. I was kind of just like, well, okay, I got this for the PS1 for like a birthday. I mean, I had Pro Skater 1. I didn't have Pro Skater 2, but I had a friend who had it, so we used to just swap games. And then Pro Skater 3, and obviously Pro Skater 3 was just better than Pro Skater 1, so that was my
Yeah.
One of my most
It
played.
was, it was on the PS1. It was a cross-gen, early PS2, PS1 game.
It was it was a good game. Obviously, you had all the like hidden skaters and stuff, and the soundtrack. Arguably, the Tony Hawk games have like the best soundtracks.
Excellent soundtrack.
Because they
Yeah.
just do. But yeah,
They just do.
Yeah, they just do. It was just a game that I don't even really know how I got into it. I just ended up getting it one day. I was like, oh, this is fun to play. And then I had like every Tony Hawk game from then until Project 8, and I think that's when I sort of stopped because everything went a bit odd.
Because it was shit.
There was one that came out. It came out for the Wii exclusive, and you had to have like the balance board or a special like skateboard peripheral or something.
Oh yeah, what was that one?
Either way, it was terrible. But
that was Project 8, wasn't it?
Was that Project 8?
Yeah, I think so. The stupid plastic.
Proving Ground.
Proving Ground. Yeah, that could have
Proving
been.
Ground.
Either way, Underground was amazing. Underground 2 was amazing, and American Wasteland was amazing. But they're all PS2 games.
The music in American Wasteland as well. Oh, yes. Oh man, I'm starting to realise where my music taste has come from.
Yeah, same. But as we're only talking PS1 games, it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Fabulous choice.
Because it was a
fabulous
fun game. As a kid, you want a game that, you know, if you don't have much money or whatever, you want a game that you can play and then play again and then play again.
Yeah.
And Tony
just
Hawk's
forever.
Kind of was that. Yeah, you go through all the levels and do all the different goals and get the different characters and do the same thing and beat your friends.
And the best thing was, obviously, game guides were incredibly limited back in the PS1 era. So as soon as you unlocked like a secret character or something, you're like, oh, you had no idea how you did it most of the time, and you had no idea if there was more, and you wanted to find out.
Yeah,
or at least in my case.
I remember buying like a PlayStation magazine as a kid for the specific fact it came with like a mini yellow cheat book. It was like a really small version of Yellow Pages, and it was like PS1 and PS2 cheat codes. And you didn't, you know, obviously because it was all wrapped in plastic, you had to buy it first before you could realise if your game was in there. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 was one of the popular games that actually had a mention. So you're always excited to scroll to the back and be like, yes, it's got cheats.
I remember flicking through those cheat books and being like seeing the titles of games and thinking, that sounds really cool. I think I'd like to play that. But having no idea what it was at all, and ultimately never playing it either because I'd never find it.
I used to have one of those little red boxes that you used to plug in.
Oh, like the what was it? Well, one of them was Game Shark. The other was
Game Replay or Action, like
Action Replay.
That's the one. I think it was a Game Shark was the one that I had.
I had one for the PS2, but I did never have one for the PS1. Where you had
I
to,
had
like,
one for the
put
PS1.
a weird memory card in and then put the disc in, and then while
the console
was on, open the tray and put your game in, and it would boot.
Yeah, do all the shit that's completely unnatural when you're actually using the console. Oh god, what a time to be alive, eh? Do you know what? Tony Hawk reminds me of a PS2 game again. Either of you play Dave Mirra's BMX?
Yes.
Yeah. What a game again!
Funny enough,
excellent music.
On one of the discs there was a demo of it. I think it was Underground. I think Underground had a demo of Dave Mirra BMX on it.
No way! It was just a friend of mine randomly had Dave Mirra's BMX, and we spent. Again, this was another summer completely wasted on video games. I say wasted. It was a great time. Just playing this game. Just every time we came off the bike, we'd hand over the controller because it wasn't strictly two-player.
No, it was single player fully, but
yeah, well, and the soundtrack again was excellent, and I'm almost 100% certain there was like the whole Sum 41 album on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But that game probably won't come back because obviously he's dead now. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although saying that, we've got what is the name of the American football game that I've completely forgotten?
NFL.
No. I mean, yes, NFL, but.
You mean you think they'll just change the person on the front of it?
No, I think. Oh, friggin' hell, what is it called?
Yeah, but it's like
the American football game by EA is not called American Football, for instance. It's called Madden. Thank you. And now he's dead. But very sad news, obviously. But I can't see them dropping the name Madden. I'll just continue with that, surely. Massive franchise.
Well, I don't think Dave Mirra's BMX ever took off after like the second game. So, but anyway, yeah, Tony Hawk. I'd like to see it come back, but it's got to come back in the right way. Well, it already did come back. Came back as the.
I think it's got a better chance of coming back now that Activision are owned by Microsoft. Whether or not it'll be exclusive or not is a different matter.
Well, the remake of Pro Skater 1 and 2 was great, so now I just want the remake of 3 and 4. Because I was disappointed that 3 wasn't included, because some of the levels in 3 were amazing.
Yeah.
I swear most of
I
them
always
just
found the
started off in a
schoolyard
warehouse.
levels were the best. Yeah, most of them did, to be fair. I always preferred the schoolyard levels for some reason. Like being on the American high school campus felt so cool as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
Because we were showing on TV at the time that it's all like, you know, massive with like loads of different areas, whereas our schools are literally fenced in with a big green picket fence shoved in the smallest corner of the earth.
Yeah, with some fucking different coloured tarmac on the playground to make
the field
hopscotch thing.
Yeah, and your school's field was always locked, and they had to unlock it at certain times for you. So half the time you could never even use the grass.
If there was a slight drizzle, and bearing in mind we're in the UK, slight drizzle, no way you're going on the grass. Absolutely no chance.
Sometimes you're not even going outside.
Yeah. It's a rainy day.
But
Get the little
America,
cubes
they've got
out.
massive schools where they'd just be like, okay, just walk through the hallways, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, we couldn't do that as a kid.
Either way,
We'd get
yeah, I
locked in the
wanted to come
classroom.
back.
Good stuff. What about you, Parky? What about your number 3?
You're gonna love this one. Parappa the Rapper.
Oh
my god.
Why?
It was just so corny and cheesy. It was hilarious. Obviously, 1997, Sony Computer Entertainment released. It was one of those, man. It was just like, it was impossible. I'm pretty sure that the buttons were broken, so no matter what you do,
not that you didn't have any rhythm, is it?
Yeah, you just sort of have to spam the button as many times as you can, and it'll kind of work for you. But you know, I've only ever got to, I think, the 3rd or 4th level. I've never completed it.
I only ever played the demo.
Same.
Absolutely.
The onion sensor.
Yeah. Ah, what was the?
Even now, it sticks in your head.
Chop. Chop. Oh man, I really enjoyed the demo, but I had no fucking clue what I was doing. Yeah. I didn't know what a rhythm game was.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I actually know most of the words to that song. That's how much I played that game.
What was that, Kyle?
I said, never knew what a rhythm game was. Did you never play, what was it, Vib Ribbon?
Yeah, it came after Parappa the Rapper. God, Kyle.
Sorry, my McDonald's demo disc, like limited information is.
Funnily enough, I only ever played the demo of Vib Ribbon as well.
Exactly, I'm the same. That's how I found out about most of the games as a kid, because you couldn't just go out and buy a game, but you could go out and get.
Just get your monthly magazine that came with a demo, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I used to get the PlayStation magazine every month. Was it monthly edition? It was, wasn't it? Every month my dad would buy me that magazine, and I'd just have this huge stack of demo discs, and I really wish I'd kept all them. I had no idea what I had at the time, you know. I didn't realise I'd one day get old and be nostalgic about all this stuff. But never mind. Do you want to see Parappa the Rapper come back?
Apparently they brought out a second one, but yeah, and they brought out. I
don't think it had the same gravitas.
That wasn't Parappa, but yeah, I would.
Jamalami.
A modern version of Parappa the Rapper. I reckon that'd be hilarious.
What form would that take? Would it be the same art style, or?
Oh, it would have to be. It was all done like Paper Mario style, wasn't it?
South Park style.
Yeah, but like it was 3D but 2D. It was very weirdly done, but
2.5D.
Yeah, I think it was great. Obviously, the young-minded me was just like, Well, even the old young-minded me now is just like, I'd sit there and play that game.
Just had like nightmare fuel images of a modern version of Parappa the Rapper, fully 3D in Unreal Engine 5.
Peeling off the wall.
Fully ray tracing.
Yeah, that would be nightmare fuel.
Just
Onion
shiny,
Sensei, just like
shiny skin Onion Sensei. Oh no! All right. Well,
done by From Software.
harder than Elden Ring.
Yeah, man. That was my number 3.
Press the wrong button and Onion Sensei just fucking chops your head.
It eats you like.
Oh god. Well, I picked a much better game for my number 3. So I was completely obsessed with this game.
Which Final Fantasy was it?
Yeah, no.
Which Chrono Cross was it?
No. I don't know if you'll be surprised by this. You may be. This game was developed by a studio called Acquire in 1998. It was the first of a series of games, and that game was Tenchu, Stealth Assassins.
Tenchu! That's actually in my honourable mentions as well.
Is it? Oh, what a game! This game, just as Silent Hill spawned my love for horror games, Tenchu is the reason that I try my hardest in any game with stealth options to play stealthily. I love this game, and I would go as far as, if I got spotted at all in any level, I'd just restart the level. And I truly tried to get through every single level of this game without being spotted.
Was Tenchu the one where you were against the guy with the nunchucks as your teacher? Was that Tenchu? Was it? What one was that? That was the other. What was the other ninja game called?
Ninja Gaiden.
No, Ninja Gaiden. There you go.
Yeah, but that was the PS3 one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now Tenchu was the one with oh god, was it? Oh fucking hell, I've forgotten his name. Tenchu. Hang on, bear with. Ricky Maru, that was it.
Yeah.
Ricky Maru was the coolest character to me. Oh man, I can't even. There was a PS2 version of this game as well, which was very, very good, but I ended up losing it.
There was also Tenchu 2 as well, wasn't there?
Tenchu 2, another excellent game, and arguably Tenchu 2 was, in some respects, better.
Yeah.
But the reason I chose the first one is because this is the game that I go back to whenever I think of great stealth games. Because it was the original stealth game that I played. This was the first stealth game I'd had any experience with. And really, the only difference between Tenchu 2 was the fact that you could just play as 4 characters. So yeah, it really, really good. I would love to see a return to Tenchu. Absolutely love to see a return to him. I think that one of the Tenchu games was made by one sec. Yeah. One of the more modern Tenchu games was made by From Software.
Yeah. Decent.
If we could get, I suppose we kind of got a Tenchu style mixed in with mythology in Sekiro, or Sekiro, however you want to pronounce it. But I would love to see a true stealth ninja game from Software. Oh man, Tenchu came back. Yes, please. Yeah, I can't gush over this game enough. Oh, the stealth mechanics are so cool. It's almost as if the vision cones on the enemies made sense, which wasn't the case for a lot of PS1 games. It was Tenchu and Metal Gear Solid 1 where stealth felt great. But anyway, I'll stop gushing and
Yeah,
we'll move on.
just running around on Metal Gear Solid 1 in the snow, just to get the guard to follow you constantly. I spent an obscene amount of time doing that.
Spent an obscene amount of time just tapping on walls. Huh?
Yeah.
What was that?
Turns
Must have
around.
been the wind.
Must have been nothing. Huh? What was that?
Dead soldier on the floor. Huh? Must have been nothing.
Wake up.
Why is that box getting closer to me?
Yeah. Huh? What was that?
All right, let's move on. Parky, what is your second? Oh no!
Parappa the Rapper 2. No, I'm joking. It was actually a From Software game made in 1999. Any
Wait.
come to mind?
Is it? Is it? Oh God! Don't spoil this for me. I know this. I know this.
Oh, think Mechs.
I am thinking mechs. I am thinking mechs.
Think Mechs better.
I am thinking mechs better.
Ghosts of
Wait.
the Shell?
No. It was Armored Core.
Armored Core.
Yeah.
What a game that was.
Great shout. Oh, 1997?
99 I found. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just remember I got this game for my birthday one year and I thought I was younger, but
yeah, it was such a great game. It was so difficult, but it was so much fun building your own mech with like 20 rockets and about 2 Gatling guns for arms and just jumping around everywhere with a laser sword and stuff like that.
This game was decades ahead of its time when it came to like customization and stuff.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I know they've released a few new ones, but I think the last one was PS3, maybe PS4.
I feel as though like the shine kind of went a bit dull on Armored Core later on in the series, and the best games were definitely towards the beginning of the series. It's the same with Tenchu, really. The best games,
even Armored Core 2 was still a good game.
Yeah, and didn't one of the Armored Core games have a demo included in it for another one?
Yeah, I think so.
Carry on talking. I'll do some
There
research.
were 2 games released at the same time that were basically the same thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean 1999, so I was what, 9?
Yeah, I was 9. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I actually finished this game as well.
I mean,
which is saying a lot for my very young mind.
In comparison, I was probably 5/6. So
yeah, you probably wouldn't.
This is where you're all coming out with like really obscure. No, I'm the mainstream PS1 kid-friendly games.
Just for reference, by the way, all of the games on my list I completed.
I was playing sports.
Yeah, fair enough. Apescape, I completely forgot about that as well. That was a fucking awesome game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
if we're talking PS2, Apescape 2 would have been up there, but
never played Apescape 2. I played I had Apescape 1 bought for me. But it was an American auntie of mine that bought it me and then visited the UK. I think we were going to a wedding in Scotland or something.
Oh no. So you
gave it to me and I couldn't play it because it was NTSC.
Yeah.
But then I got my PlayStation chipped. So I could play it. But then didn't have an analog controller.
Oh no.
So I could play the game, but all I could do was swap weapon with the D-pad and jump.
You were right as well. It was 1997, the original Armored Core. The one I looked at was Master of Arena.
Oh no.
Which was 99, which, for everyone's sake, do not get Master of Arena.
Absolutely.
That was not great. But they've got like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 games out.
Good.
Most recent one being Verdict Day in 2013.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So I think it's safe to say that you would like to see a
A
reverting of this
remake,
game.
a remake of Armored Core, the original.
Remake. Okay, yeah. What kind of form would that
Imagine
take?
that in that sort of graphics. Jeez, be like
Would
a
it
World
take,
of Tanks but with mechs.
and obviously be very, very difficult.
Oh yes.
Stick to the FromSoft formula.
Yeah, make it impossible.
I
Final
want
boss just one shots you with a pistol. Like.
I want everything to kill me immediately, please.
I want your
It'd be
armor
like
to be like grease
mech-
paper.
Do you say it'd be like World of Tanks but with mechs? Isn't there a Transformers game that basically is that? I think it came out a few
Maybe.
years ago, but I remember there was an online.
I remember a recent one
Transformers game.
where it was like you were Bumblebee or something.
Transformers Universe. That was
Mm.
last year. Yeah, Transformers Universe. It was a free-to-play kind of World of Tanks, but with mechs.
All right, but it wasn't Armored Core, so
No, true.
that would be cheating on Armored Core, which I would never do.
Absolutely not. All right, Kyle. What about your number 2 spot?
My number 2 spot again, franchise is Spyro.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Again, part of my honourable mentions. Good
And
choice.
also again came out a few years ago as a remaster, right?
Yeah, I
With
guess so, yeah.
Reignited trilogy.
Yeah, which was amazing, but it was, as I said, I was a kid, didn't really have much money. I'm not necessarily a load younger than you guys, but I'm sort of through for the PS1 era. 3 years is enough, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
when you're 9 playing all these games, I'm like 6. So.
Which Spyro is your favourite Spyro?
So the one I played most was Spyro 3.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, was that Enter the
I
Dragonfly?
think mine
Enter
was
the Dragon?
2, Ripto's Revenge.
Year of the Dragon
Year of
was
the
Spyro
Dragon, that was
3.
it, yeah.
Ripto's Revenge was 2. Yeah.
Like the first one I played was like a borrowed game at my uncle's house, and he had, my cousin had it or something, and that was the original Spyro, which I think is what got me into it. But I don't really know how I ended up with it. And then I got Spyro 3, and then I got
Just
2
stole it.
after I got 3. So I played them all in the wrong order.
Yeah.
I played part
Played it
1,
backwards.
then bought 3, then bought 1, and then bought 2.
Yeah. Oh, excellent series, Spyro, and I thoroughly enjoyed the. In fact, when I had the Reignited trilogy, we were talking quite a bit about it, weren't we, Carl? Because I was desperately trying to get that fucking trophy by killing all the low-hanging spiders on Spyro 2.
And I was stuck on the exact same thing. I said, good luck.
Oh my
It took me like
God.
5 hours.
Oh, I finally did it, but my God, that burnt me out on Spyro because it was the last trophy I needed,
Same.
and I still to this day haven't gone to continue on with Spyro 3 because I couldn't face it. I couldn't do it. And to be fair, Spyro 3 is my least favourite Spyro. I think Spyro 2 nailed the formula.
Yeah, Spyro 3
Spyro
was
1 was
gimmicky with new characters and stuff, but as
Yeah,
a kid, I
yeah.
kind of loved that. I loved playing as a flying penguin with rocket launcher.
Absolutely you would, yeah. And there's no reason why you wouldn't. I think being a little bit older when I played Spyro 2 gave me an appreciation for how tight the gameplay was and how like tight the formula was. It was literally you're in this level, you do varying different things to get all the orbs and collect all the treasure.
Well,
and then get to the end.
That's kind of like back in those days of the PS1 games. That was how you made successful sequels, is you had to build on it. Like Ratchet and Clank, you start out and then you come out with the second game, which is basically the same, but you add more things, then you add more things. So with 2, it was the perfect blend of it had all the core Spyro gameplay. It was Spyro 3 without the characters, without the gimmicks.
Yeah.
Which would have been its own great game.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like you say, the evolution in 3 is essentially the addition of the extra characters.
And it's probably needed to, just say that it's not 2.5, Spyro 2.5 kind of thing, where it's just the same game but with a different storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate Spyro 3 as an entity. Just for me, Spyro 2 is definitely
It's like
pinnacle.
Crash Bandicoot Warped, wasn't it?
Yeah. Would you like to see outside of the Reignited trilogy, would you like to see a new Spyro?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, it's on my sort of I know they redid obviously new Ratchet and Clank games that weren't remasters. They were like separate spin-offs. Likewise, they did a new Crash Bandicoot game that apparently was received well. I still haven't played. So I think they could do a new.
Imagine
Yeah.
Spyro, but
do a
he's
new Spyro.
older.
Old.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be
teenage
cool.
Spyro.
Teenage Spyro. That'd be quite cool, to be fair. You can make it slightly more mature, not too mature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a new Spyro game would always be welcome because it's just you
That'd
don't
be
play
really
it
cool.
for kind of storyline. You play it for just kind of fun, don't you? It's one of those games that you just play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
pick
really
up and play like.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, the problem for us is, again, would it be exclusive to the Xbox now? Maybe. Or would it be one of those games that they'd be happy to release on all platforms, like Minecraft, for instance? Microsoft have owned Minecraft for many, many years, but it's still available everywhere.
Yeah, I just hope if they do they come up with a new Spyro, they just don't make a remake of like any of the PS2 games because they were all atrocious.
Oh God, no. Oh Jesus! What was the first PS2 Spyro that came out? I remember borrowing it off my friend, and it was. Yes, that rings a bell. It was fucking atrocious. Enter the Dragonfly. Is this the one? Yep, that's the one. Awful. Don't play it.
Yeah. there were two of them. One of them was slightly better than the other, but I think Enter the Dragonfly was the first one, and it kind of just ruined Spyro.
Oh, shocking.
Ruined everything.
Yeah. They essentially went back to Spyro 1 with slightly better graphics, but that was it. It was so flat compared to what the game had become.
Gateway
But anyway,
to Glimmer.
That was the other one.
That was technically Spyro 2. It was it had different names depending on region, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, hang on. Wasn't the UK Gateway to Glimmer and then Ripto's Rage was the American name?
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway.
So the other one was Hero's Tale. Then you had A Legend of Spyro New Beginning and Eternal Night.
Good God. Yeah, I clearly didn't pay attention to any of them. They were obviously awful. My number 2 spot. Funnily enough, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped.
I definitely don't know. I don't know what you've written on your list at all.
No. Naughty Dog, obviously, 1998. I got this game from my Auntie Jean. God rest her soul. She bought me Crash Bandicoot 1 for Christmas. She bought me Crash Bandicoot 2 for Christmas. Then she bought me Crash Bandicoot 3 for Christmas. Then there weren't any more Crash Bandicoot games, so instead she bought me the Harry Potter books for Christmas, which I still have all of them sat right in front of me, in fact, all together. In order, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 3 was just a perfect evolution of Crash Bandicoot. Much like you feel the way about Spyro 3, Kyle, I feel as though the third Crash Bandicoot was exactly where Crash needed to end up.
Warped was a weird one, wasn't it? It was the one with the bike level.
Yeah. And you could there was so many secret levels. There were secret levels in 2. 2 was really good. It was a great step up from the first Crash Bandicoot. And with the addition of, well, not the addition of extra crystals collect, because you could still do that in the first one, but there was more varied game level types in 2, and the bonus levels had slightly changed.
The only issue was you always had to kind of, unless you knew what you were doing, it was very difficult to figure out how to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
You could figure out
definitely,
what the death route, what the death platforms were, was that if you hadn't died in the level, you could go and jump on it, but then you had some coloured gems that led to other coloured gems, but you never knew which coloured gem to get first and where to get it from.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel as though Crash Bandicoot 3, it didn't explain it better, but it was more obvious to me. And whether it's because I was a year older or whatever, I don't know. But I understood what I needed to do to achieve certain things in Crash 3 more than I did so in Crash 2.
Yeah.
And the power-ups in Crash 3 were just so much better. You had power-ups in Crash 2, didn't you? They were limited. Am I thinking right?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. No, maybe Crash 3 with the introduction of power-ups. Okay, right. The introduction of power-ups in Crash 3 was phenomenal, especially when you got to the end and got the Wumpa Fruit Bazooka, and you just go back through the game and just start blowing shit up.
Yeah, just easily just walk through the game.
Yeah,
All the early game bosses.
First time they were introduced was in Warped.
Yeah, okay. So the power-ups felt so cool. Gave it kind of like an RPG element. I know it's not really an RPG element, but it felt like it. And as an RPG fan, as a child, that enticed me even more because I enjoyed the platforming side of it. I enjoyed the feeling as though Crash was getting stronger because I'd unlocked this new ability. Like I'd unlocked double jump and I'd unlocked the body slam and I'd get the fucking Wumpa Fruit Bazooka and start blowing up early game bosses that I struggled with before.
Yeah.
And any of them fucking
spin.
yeah, the death tornado spin. You can practically
Fly
like
everywhere.
hover across gaps and things. Excellent game. It's so good. And I think that Crash 3 was probably the first game I 100% completed.
You mean more than 100% completed?
Yeah.
100.
Well, yeah, 100
was it?
something like that. Yeah. But I did all the secret levels. I did the secret alien level where you got to crash into the alien sign on one of the bike levels.
Yeah. That's on the bike, the second bike level, I think.
Yeah. It's so good. I spent months on this game. Like you say, I was a kid. I had no money, and you'd play a game, and you'd play it indefinitely.
To the end.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I can't say much more about this
you had
game.
to play the game twice because you play it all the way through, and it's only when you beat the Cortex, the last boss, that you get the running shoes, which then lets you go back and get
The running shoe for the time trials, of course, yeah.
So you if you wanted to complete it again, you had to go back. You had to finish it to get the running shoes to then go back and do all the time trials.
And you get all the Anks, and then they unlock secret levels, and you play through the secret levels, which are essentially super hard versions of already existing levels.
Right. Pushing on. Do you want to see a? Do you want to see it on modern consoles? I mean, kind of. And it kind of already is.
Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, I'm just slapping my headphones off my face here. It kind of is. Yes, we've had the remake of the Crash trilogy, which was very good. I played through it and I finished them all and thoroughly enjoyed them all. I think we can leave it at that, though.
Yeah.
I don't. I feel as though if we delve too far into the Crash universe now, it's gonna. I don't want it. I don't want anything to tarnish my memory of Crash.
It's About Time?
I haven't, because of my fear of tarnishing my memory of Crash.
Well,
even though I hear it's very good and it was very well critically received.
Yeah, I'm the same. I want to get it, but I don't know. I probably will get it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, same.
So,
right, okay.
Number 2.
Number 1.
I thought. Wait, who's?
Parky's was Arnica.
We're on
number 1.
Oh, number 1. Okay, well I'll just go first and get it out of the way then.
Yeah,
Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Yay!
I mean, essentially, I was a kid. Crash Bandicoot was my favorite series, so I have a mini list of 5 games of which of the PS1 available Crash Bandicoot games I preferred in which order.
Right. Okay.
So, starting at the top was Crash Bandicoot 3.
Yep.
Favorite game of all time. Then it was Crash Team Racing.
Oh yeah, CTR.
Yeah.
Fantastic
CTR.
Game. Yeah.
Then it was Crash Bandicoot 2. Then it was probably Crash Bash.
Oh, the party game.
Crash Bash was.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was so good. It was literally Mario Party, but with Crash Bandicoot for the PS1.
Yeah.
And then just Crash Bandicoot 1.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I would
it's
like
a cracking
to see a remake
choice.
of Crash Bash. We've had Crash Bandicoot remake. We've had Nitro Kart and CTR merged into
bring Crash Bash back.
Oh man, it's not. I can't argue with that. What a great game that would be, especially with online multiplayer. Oh wow!
Exactly. literally just a load of mini games. You don't even need a storyline.
Oof, bless you.
Thank you.
Right, okay. Anything more you want to anything more you want to add to the Crash Bandicoot saga that we've now
No,
woven?
just that it was my #1 game because it's obviously deserved it. I played it. It was a toss-up between that and Spyro, but I definitely played more Crash Bandicoot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My first game probably would have been Crash if it wasn't the game I've actually picked. But we'll save that for a moment because Parky, I really, really want to know what terrible game you've picked for your first.
All right. Here we go, guys. Released on Christmas Day of 1997, which I actually got on Christmas Day,
Oh.
by director Tokuro Fujiwara after leaving Capcom in 1995.
What?
Made by Whoopi. You already know. It's Tomba. I didn't want to do it, but I had to, man.
You know what?
I say it every week. Bring back Tomba.
Full respect.
What's wrong with you people?
100%. You know what? Full respect. I agree. Tomba was a great game.
Tomba was a great game.
Well,
Yeah.
a great demo from the bit that I played, but still.
It was a great demo. And to be fair, the only reason it didn't make my list is probably due to the fact I didn't play the full game and I'd only played the demo.
You didn't need to
Go
play it.
back,
You played the demo,
buy it,
and it was
buy
a
it.
great game. You're a pink-haired
Yeah,
guy that
right.
jumps on pigs and throws them around. What more do you need?
There was an actual story to it. He was
Please.
basically his granddad passed away, and he had one thing left, which was his granddad's bracelet, which the king pig stole.
What dick?
So he goes through beating all these pigs up to get back his
Committing
granddad's.
mass genocide.
Yeah, to get back his granddad's bracelet, which is quite touching. All the trouble he goes through with the stupid tornado, which I hate.
Yep.
Fucking tornado.
Then you had the
Oh,
little,
it's making me angry.
you had the little
You're gonna
secret
have to
things, as well,
enlighten
didn't
me.
you? Like if you land on a birdhouse or do some specific thing, you get like a little, was it a little fairy or a little bird or something that would talk to you? And
Yeah. And you can get friends and that along the way, and you get different coloured pig bags to capture different coloured pigs, and the bird can come down and help you by blowing away the tornado with its strong wings. Yeah, it was very mixed and very weird, but great game. Great core classic gameplay.
Well, obviously, this begs the question: do you want to see this game come back?
No, I don't.
No.
Of
Good.
course I do.
In what form though? A remake, a remaster, a complete new Tomba?
A remaster, not a remake. So I get the fear, like you do with Crash.
Yeah.
If they remake it, I get the feeling they're going to ruin it, and it's going to just destroy my childhood. But if they remaster it, there's not really a lot they could do. It's a basically semi 3D, 2D side scroller. You can't really ruin that, really, can you?
No, I guess not. No, unless they do some weird technical shit like they did with Chrono Cross.
And you just fall through the floor.
Awful and
make it like 700 gigabytes to download.
With microtransaction skins to change your hair color.
Yeah. Change your hair color. Give you like a Super Saiyan aura.
Change all the pig skins to Agent Smith.
Oh, make it multiplayer. Oh dear lord.
it was such a good game.
Turn it into a battle royale.
Make it like Elden Ring where you can leave messages for other players.
I'm sure
Pig
we're
bag here.
dying to know then.
Oh,
Your #1 game.
Neither of you will be shocked. At all.
I'm already not shocked.
I already
This is
know what it is
even
and you haven't told me.
even more obvious than Tomba. These games, I've kind of gone down how Kyle went with Crash and
Series.
Spyro. It's a series mainly. It's released
Made by
respectively.
Square Enix.
Well, technically Squaresoft. Thanks.
Wow. Made by Square. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Released in 1997, 1999, and 2000 respectively. Final Fantasy, more specifically 7, 8, and 9, because I didn't play the earlier anthology games until much later on. Final Fantasy 7 was my first ever JRPG, and I didn't just spend months on this game. I spent years playing this game, years and years and years. Even past 8 and 9, I was still playing 7 over and over, restarting the game, playing it all the way through, getting everything, getting all the secret materia, getting all the secret chocobos, getting golden chocobo, and fucking racing mystic birds through some crazy
Rainbow
drug
Road looking
drug
thing.
induced Rainbow Road racetrack. To the point where I'd used disc 1 and disc 2 so much that they stopped working. Disc 3 was still okay though. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 8 I really, really enjoyed. I just wasn't smart enough to understand the junction system as a kid.
Yep.
And I never
ruined me.
actually, I
Going
never
straight
actually
into the
finished it as
final
a
boss
child.
straight away.
With no abilities and no idea how to junction. Yeah. I didn't finish this until they re-released it, or made it available at least on PS3. So of course I went back to it, and I was older and wiser, and I understood the junction system, and I went into the final boss, and it turned out the final boss is really easy when you actually understand the game mechanics. Final Fantasy 9, interesting story about Final Fantasy 9. This was obviously on my chipped PlayStation. I had the NTSC version of Final Fantasy 9 for reasons I won't go into. But I had to play this game entirely in black and white because I didn't have the correct SCART lead.
Oh dear.
So to me, even to this day, even after playing it again on the PS4, when I bought the PS4 version or whatever was available on the PS4, I still remember this game in black and white. And the art style to me actually quite suits black and white. I had absolutely no issue playing this game in black and white. And in fact, the first time I played it in color, I was like, oh no, this isn't how I imagined it at all.
Why has the game got a different tail color to his head here?
Yeah,
What's going on?
it was so weird to play it in color. I've got used to it now, obviously, but I still remember this game in black and white. And 9 actually came out, I think, after the release of the PS2, or very close to the release of the PS2, which really hampered its sales. And obviously Final Fantasy X came out roughly again around the release of the PS2. So these were two incredibly close release dates. I'm just going to check exactly when Final Fantasy X released.
The one thing we
2001,
all
yeah.
know though, Final Fantasy villains are always the better people. Nobody wants to be the good guy in Final Fantasy.
God,
The
no.
villains are always so much cooler and loved more.
The best villain in the entire Final Fantasy franchise for me is Sephiroth. You cannot get any better than Sephiroth. Some
Everyone
people
knows
would
Sephiroth,
argue,
let's be honest.
yeah. Some people would argue Kefka, but I would argue,
Nah,
I would
Kefka
counter
was
argue.
like just a sad clown.
He was a sad clown.
Kuja was awesome.
Kuja was awesome.
He was kind of confused
Ultimecia,
at
not
times,
so much.
but-
I think Ultimecia was a bit of a letdown as a villain because she was only really introduced at the end of the game.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy VIII, of course. Final Fantasy X was complicated because the line between hero, villain, and victim was so blurred all the way through. But that's a PS2 game, so we won't talk about it. Released in 2001, so the release date between 9 and 10 was, I think, less than 12 months, which ultimately I think harmed 9, but 9 was so good.
It was actually the first one I played.
Was it? Interesting.
Yeah, I played 9 and then played 5 and 6 and then 7.
Oh, okay. 7, I played them in the order of 7, 8, 9. 8 felt way more mature than 7, even though they were both very mature subjects. I think the graphics of 8. I love the card game so much. 9 felt very cartoony, but I really enjoyed it still.
Mm.
I
The
definitely,
story of 9 was great.
yeah, but I definitely think the system in 7 was my favorite. I love the materia system. I love the chocobo breeding and mini games and the gold saucer, the abilities you get in battle. 9 was
Wasn't there still
cool.
like a? It was kind of like material, wasn't it? But it was gemstones, right?
In 9,
In 9, yeah.
it was more along the lines of different equipment had abilities, and you
Yeah, and then you had to
effectively leveled up each
use them.
individual
Yeah.
equipment piece. And I
AP
really
system.
liked that. Yeah, and I really like that, to be fair. 8 is definitely my least favorite system. I don't like the junction system. It made spells redundant, and
Because if you used
we
them, it made you weaker.
it made you weaker. Yeah, say you
Yeah.
junctioned Ultima to HP, which I think was the best one to junction to HP. It would increase your HP stat by a massive amount. The problem was if you use one Ultima spell, you could have a maximum stock of 100. You use one, and your HP drops by 1,000. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa! Shit, I can't use spells.
Yeah.
So that all for me, that removed an entire choice in battle. And I think if we were to see, we've seen a revisit to Final Fantasy VII in the Final Fantasy VII remake. Again, fantastic. I
Rumor
don't
of
think
9.
yes. In the Nvidia leak, Final Fantasy IX remake is listed, and most of the things, if not all of the things in the Nvidia leak, have come true or will come true. I'm very confident of that. So I'm gonna say it confidently that I am looking forward to the Final Fantasy IX remake.
I'm looking
I
forward to seeing his summons again. Rama,
oh,
Shiva,
yes.
Odin,
They,
Alexander.
they look so good in 9 already on the PS1. They look so impressive. I'd like to see a revisit to 8 because I'm fairly confident we're going to get 9 remake. I'd like to see the same treatment given to 8, but I'd also like
Just
them
without the
to
junction system.
yeah, revamp the battle system just like they did with 7. In fact, 8 would work really, really well with the 7 remake battle system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got lost on the first bit when you're walking through the town, and it's like the 3 sort of ways to go, and you go right, and you go right, and I just went straight forward the whole time. Ended up straight away getting annihilated. But I was like, I don't know where to go. It all looks the same.
Unlucky. But yeah, surprising absolutely no one. Final Fantasy is my number 1 pick.
Nice.
And yes,
Right,
that is it.
as we're pressing for time, shall we quickly blast through?
Yeah, let's blast through the game releases for the week beginning of the 2nd of May. There's not many, so we'll go through them very quickly. Wildcat Gun Machine, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. That comes out on today, on May 4th. Best month ever, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. That comes out on May 5th. Trek to Yomi.
It looks so good.
I'm getting this game. I think it's only like 20 quid as well.
Yeah.
Really cheap. I'm definitely going to buy this game. I'll just buy it tomorrow. Comes out May 5th. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One. This looks excellent. It is effectively a side-scrolling Ghost of Tsushima. So if you like Ghost of Tsushima, check it out. And again, black and white, and I really like black and white games apparently.
Yeah, I like the old school.
It's done in the Kurosawa style old Japanese movie. Old Japanese style samurai movie, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. Warhammer 40k, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters for the PC.
I'm looking forward to this as well, to be fair.
If I had a PC that was good enough to play this, I would jump straight onto this because I love Warhammer 40k. I have done since I was a kid, but the good games just keep coming out on PC. God damn it. But that comes out May 5th. And finally, we've got Crowns and Pawns, Kingdom of Deceit on the PC. That sounds like a strategy game. Most likely is. I don't really know. May 6th. Okay. So, that's it for today. Have we got any closing comments, Carl? Anything you want to say before we go?
Just may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Honourable mentions of the PS1 games: Tomb Raider, Ridge Racer, Abe's Odyssey, and
yeah.
Spider-Man.
Abe's Odyssey was also in mine, yeah.
They were
That's a good
Along
shout.
with
honourable
Burnout,
mentions.
Star Wars Episode 1. Great game.
Oh,
Heart of Darkness.
yes. Heart of Darkness.
And the original Burnout.
Okay, fair enough. My honourable mentions, I think I've already mentioned a couple of them, but Medieval, Resident Evil 2, Vagrant Story.
Story.
Vagrant Story was fucking phenomenal, man. Yeah. That's it, really. I haven't really got a lot else to say. I'm very hungry. I would like to get some food. I did order a McDonald's, but it arrived with less than half of what I ordered, so I'm very angry.
Oh no.
Pretty sure the driver ate it, but
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you mean that McDonald's? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. The reason my internet was cutting out was because I was using my data delivering your McDonald's.
Yeah, it all
Gnawing
makes
on my
sense.
food. Oh my god. Right. Okay. Well, thank you, gents. This has been very enjoyable. A nice trip down memory lane. Maybe we should do this for PS2 on another week where there's not so much news going on. We shall see. It's been a great episode.
Yes,
I hope
been
you've all
fun.
enjoyed. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, right.
Peace
Okay.
and love.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much both for joining me, and thank you for everyone for listening.
Take
It's been
care.
great. We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week. Bye.
Ta-da.
Bye.